One espionage story from the mid-'80s is as pertinent today as when it broke 40 years ago. An analyst for U.S. naval intelligence sold thousands of classified documents, an actual truckload, to Israel, motivated by what he called anti-Semitism in his workplace and what he viewed as the United States' insufficient support of its greatest ally. The evidence shows that another individual inside the U.S. intelligence community appears to have directed Pollard. The fact that Pollard was given a so-called shopping list, or a list of confidential documents to retrieve that included exact titles and document numbers, tends to indicate that Pollard had help from the inside. When Pollard and his wife were on the run, they drove to the Israeli embassy in Washington seeking asylum, but were denied entry. If they'd been permitted to enter, the story might have taken a similar turn to the Julian Assange affair in London. Assange stayed inside the Ecuadorian embassy for nearly 7 years to avoid extradition to the United States. Despite what he asserted during his trial, Pollard's espionage was extremely damaging to U.S. interests, putting its military forces at risk and endangering covert intelligence agents and assets in the field. Many of the purloined documents were given by the Israelis to the Soviet Union, with whom the U.S. was locked in a deadly Cold War, in exchange for allowing Soviet Jews to emigrate to Israel. Underscoring the damage done by Pollard was the sentence he was given: life in prison. Despite the enormity of his crimes, a worldwide movement lobbied for Pollard's early release. Many high-profile leaders, including Israeli prime ministers, agitated for releasing Pollard. One author claims that Benjamin Netanyahu informed then-President Bill Clinton that he had in his possession tape-recorded phone calls from Clinton to Monica Lewinsky, and he tried to use them to blackmail Clinton into pardoning Pollard. Those pardon efforts failed, but after 30 years in prison, Pollard was given parole and released in 2015. After 5 years of checking in with parole authorities and remaining in the New York City area, Pollard's parole ended and he left the U.S. But here's the astounding part. He moved permanently to Israel and was met personally at the airport and given a hero's welcome by none other than Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. That's right, the leader currently presiding over a genocide is the same one who welcomed Pollard to his new home in Israel. The same Pollard who damaged U.S. interests irreparably. Talk about chutzpah. But our leaders would never sanction Israel or even criticize it for such things, because they are 100% owned and operated by the Israel lobby in the United States. In earlier times, though, there were several who opposed releasing Pollard. We'll leave you with the words of one George H.W. Bush, who as former CIA director knew a thing or two about intelligence. Quote, "He belongs just where he is, in jail. You do know there are a lot of people trying to get him out. That really burns me up."